Let's have a look at the functionality of the DeckBuilder app. Let's go through all the steps of creating a game and all the features available at the time of the release of the version 1.0.0. I will show by example the advantages of this utility in comparison with other analogs. Let's start with the creation. We'll do it on an example of the board game Four Souls, because it has its official website where all the images are publicly available. When creating a game, we need to specify its name, it must be unique, and also specify the image. The picture can be taken from the local disk, or you can specify a link to it. If you specify a link, the file will be downloaded and will no longer require access to the internet to display it. We can also specify the description that will pop up in the tooltip when you hover over the object and wait for a few seconds. After the game object has been created, we can go inside the game by left-clicking on it and go to the creation of the collection entity. Let's create two collections at once, the base game and the gold box add-on. All actions are similar to the previous step. After creating the collections, let's go to the base collection and create decks inside. For the test, we will use two decks, characters and loot. Starting from this object, we can highlight the first advantage of this utility. The name that will be specified for the deck, its description and image will be transferred to the Tabletop Simulator automatically. There is no need to specify the name and the description of the deck when they appear in the game. The picture that is set for the object of the deck will be shared for this type of the cards. Let's go to the loot deck and create a couple of objects. The cards have a few differences. In the creation window we have two more options, the number of copies and the lure variables. On the example of loot, let's have a look at the ability to have more than one copy. And this is the second advantage of this utility. You can specify any number of cards and they will all use the same image, which won't cause additional memory consumption when the game displays them. It has a positive effect on the performance of Tabletop Simulator. Also, for all cards that have more than one copy, in the interface we can see a gray sign next to the name, which tells us the number of such cards in the deck. In order to navigate through the levels, we can use the breadcrumb located in the upper left corner of the window. Let's go to the character deck and have a look at another possibility. And these are lure variables. If you automate your tables, you will find this very useful. Variables can be used, for example, to automatically display character's health after you have placed him in a certain slot on the table. Apart from the fact that the name and the description for each card will automatically be transferred to the Tabletop Simulator, lure variables and copies will be also applied to the object that will appear in the game after export. The next useful thing is filtering. If you have a large number of cards, you can enter the name and some of the cards will disappear from the screen. Also, you have the ability to sort by name or date of creation in forward and reversed order. Finally, let's create some more cards in the gold box add-on to show the third advantage of DeckBuilder. Since identical decks in different collections have same shard, in order to save Tabletop Simulator resources, we can combine one type of cards on the single grid. DeckBuilder automatically merges decks from different collections. The fourth advantage of DeckBuilder is when you create a deck object manually in Tabletop Simulator. There is a limit of 69 cards per deck. This is due to the fact that one large 10x7 grid image fits 69 cards and one shard. DeckBuilder, on the other hand, in case we have more cards than 69, automatically separates them into different grids. But when we export the game into Tabletop Simulator, all the cards will be in the same deck. So, now we have finished creating cards. Let's have a look at how to export them. To begin, let's go to the main menu to the list of all games. After that, let's run Tabletop Simulator and create a new game, so that we are on the table screen. When everything is set up, go back to the application interface of DeckBuilder and right-click to launch the context menu for the game. Select Render and wait until the image generation is complete. If you have a lot of cards, it may take some time. I would like to point out that the type of sorting you have selected in DeckBuilder will be applied for exporting. All cards in the deck can either be in alphabetical order or in order of creation. After the process is finished, we can go to the Tabletop Simulator and make sure the pack appeared on the table. Let's have a look at the content of this bag. It contains 2 other bags, one for each collection. This is for convenience, so you can tell which collection decks belong to. Inside the collection bags, there are the decks themselves. We may notice right away that not all decks contain 2 cards each. Some of them have copies as we said when we created them. Also, you can see that all cards have titles as well as the decks. Let's check the list of all cards to make sure that the 1 penny card contains 6 copies and the 2 penny card contains 12 copies. Now let's have a look at the lure variables of the character cards. Maggie has attack 1 and health point 2. You can see them here. The render option is enough to check your game, but if you plan to publish your table in workshop, you'll need to take one more step. The thing is that decks now have paths to the files on your hard drive for displaying cards. To find it, we can open the custom menu of the deck. And in order for everyone to play your game, the images have to be uploaded to the internet. Let's start by opening the file manager. If you use Windows or Linux, the DeckBuilder data folder will appear next to the executable file DeckBuilder.exe, or in Home directory if you use Mac. Inside this folder is the folder result. This is where the product of render is stored. In the folder itself, we can see the images that were produced by combining the individual cards into a grid, as well as a JSON file that describes our game in an understandable format for Tabletop Simulator. We can notice that the cards on the grids are sorted alphabetically, as well as the fact that the loot cards are on the same grid. The first thing we need to do is to upload image to any file storage. You can use whatever you want, but I'll show you how to do it with Tabletop Simulator and upload the files to the Steam Cloud. Go back to Tabletop Simulator. On the top menu, select Modding, then Cloud Manager, and you will see the list of files in the Steam Cloud. I already have a few files, so the window is not empty. You can also create folders for combining files by game, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to upload images directly to the root. We need to upload images of the grids into the cloud, as well as deck shards. There is no need to upload the JSON file. I'm selecting files one at a time because there is a bug in a tabletop version for Linux. This bug prevents you from loading more than one file at a time. But if you use Windows, you can easily select all files. After all the files have been uploaded to the Steam Cloud, we return to the DeckBuilder interface. In the upper right corner, we choose the Replace option and model window opens. We can either drag and drop the JSON file or select it through the file manager. If you pass the correct JSON file from the result folder, you will see the fields with the names of the grid files, as well as the deck shards. All we have to do is specify URL link for each file. In case you uploaded images to the Steam Cloud, in order to get a link of the file, just click on it in Tabletop Simulator, and the link will be automatically copied to the clipboard. When you have filled out all the fields, click OK, and the resulting file will be downloaded by browser, in case you need it. But in Tabletop Simulator, you get a bag in which the paths to the images are replaced by links. Let's double check that the Lua variables remain, each card has a name, and in the custom menu the paths are replaced by links. Having this set of decks, you can save the table, share it with friends, as well as publish it in Steam Workshop. As long as the files are in your Cloud Steam, everyone can play this game. Also note that the Replace Model window in DeckBuilder is not closed automatically, and because of it, you don't have to fill out all the fields again if you notice an invalid link somewhere. So we had a look at the basic functionality of DeckBuilder, which is required for a complete game in Tabletop Simulator. But I would like to tell you about 2 more things. The first is duplication. This option allows you to create a complete copy of the existing game and make changes only in the copy. I think it can be useful for localization. The second is the export and import of games. This function allows you to export the created game so that you can share it with anyone you want in a convenient way, and the other person can import it in their own apps. DeckBuilder is a completely free app. The source code is open under the GPL license. Please check the download link in the description below. Next to it, I will leave the links to the source code.